This is our remote annunciator panel that's in the electrical room. We noted when we were talking outside. And basically you note that we have an emergency stop that's active on here right now and a control switch, not an auto. And those two items are items that we did actually cause at the engine when we were doing the training. So what we do to acknowledge those is push our bell, similar to the bell that's out there, and that's going to clear those. So now we have a clear panel. We have a green light here, and we know that we're communicating with the engine because that light's green. If that was not communicating, we'd have an amber light here telling us it was not, and this light would be out. But on the engine, we have several items that will shut the engine down as normal part of our safety system. That's emergency stop, and again, we did that at the engine. We have overcrank, which is a process where if we had low battery voltage or no fuel, let's say, the engine would try cranking 3 crank cycles, and then it would go into what we call an overcrank so it doesn't burn up the electrical system or the starter. Low coolant temperature is not a shutdown, however, it's a warning. We're going to get it over here. And what that is if we drop below 70 degrees and that heater we have on the engine is going to keep that above that, then we've either had a trip breaker on the heater or the heater's failed. High coolant temperature is a shutdown. If we go above 212 degrees, we're going to get a warning, and then if we get up to about 217 degrees, we're going to have a shutdown. Low oil pressure is if we talked about oil pressure between about 50 and 80 psi. If we get down to about 25 psi, which would mean we're either out of oil or we had an oil pump failure, we're going to get a low oil pressure. Overspeed, again, the engine runs at 1800 RPM, and if we go to 2120 RPMs, which would be we don't have governor control anymore, we're going to have a shutdown for overspeed. Low coolant level is also a shutdown on this one, and that's basically if we have a sensor that's in our coolant tank, in our radiator tank, and if it gets down below that, we're going to be, it won't run because it won't have enough fluid, and that's a shutdown as well. Low fuel level, if our tank falls, I believe it's below half or maybe around a third, you're going to get a low fuel level alarm. EPS supplying load simply means that we're on load. Again, control switch on, not an auto. We had that one that was enunciating, I'll tell you that. And that means that it's out of the normal position, which is auto. High battery voltage, low battery voltage, and battery AC failure are all things that connected to battery and tell us we got something going on with our starting system. And these two, we don't have air system on this one, and the spare, of course, isn't connected. So that is the remote annunciator.